Sorry about that. I don't know. I don't know what the problem seems to be.
Okay, I can hear you better now.
Okay, so perfect. Thanks for calling in. Sorry about the earlier. I was just wondering, for everyone, they obviously know you're Clark Gracie, but do you think we could start off maybe with how you kind of got started in the game and your journey for a bit?
Sure, thanks, David. Well, I was kind of born into, the family, so, growing up around just a family of martial artists, my father teaching jiu-jitsu, going into the academy, watching classes, and, playing around with jiu-jitsu, slowly getting more and more interested, and then, eventually start going in full-time.
Nice. What is it like having the absolute most famous name in all of combat sports?
Well, it's I don't have too much to compare to, but I guess it's good and bad. Like people will expect a lot out of you for one, and then at the same time, there's a lot of benefit. You get a lot of things. It becomes easier in martial arts for that. People are happy to have you and stuff like that. And I don't know. It doesn't really change too much, really. I don't think in my life, but I'm making this phone call here. Maybe help me because of my last name. So
definitely. Speaking of this, you said the pressure and stuff about having the last name, and you said it was some benefits. Who are some people that you've got to train with because of the position that you were put in? And some of the famous people or that you love to train with?
Well, there's a lot of really good people in my family, But outside of my family, I've trained with all kinds of fighters, people in the UFC, great jiu-jitsu stars. I've traveled the world, because of the jiu-jitsu and competition for teaching. Jiu-jitsu is, been giving me an amazing lifestyle, really, taking me around the world, and it keeps you in amazing shape and gives you good friends and good lifestyle in general. So it's great. Some of the people, just to name a few, I guess. You want to hear UFC fighters. Just a couple weeks ago, I was training with Jake Shields. I'm actually going to train with Dan Henderson tomorrow morning. He's getting ready for his fight against John Jones. And, Roger Gracie, I was training with him last weekend. He's fighting in the Strike Force. A bunch of guys, just throughout the years, been a lot.
Nice.
Growing up, what was it like to be raised around a family that created BJJ?
Well, to me it was normal, but, I've been having people ask me questions like that all my life, and it was good, because I'm exposed to it, and I'm not forced into doing it, but it's around you so much, you end up doing it anyways, and it's a great thing to be exposed to at a young age, I think, and gives you confidence, gives you discipline, and gives you, an activity to do right away from a young age. So, it kind of gives you a good road, from an early age, taking you into your adulthood. So it's good. Really, I recommend it to anybody.
Nice. Did you have to work harder than your peers though to prove that this didn't just come as good as you are because of yourself and not just like your name?
Well, I probably did work harder than most people. There's probably a few jiu-jitsu fanatics around, that work a little harder than I do, but jiu-jitsu has become such a part of my life. I'm on the mat all the time, whether I'm teaching or I'm training, and it's, become my career, and But before, I mean, it wasn't really my career. It's just like I'm around it, so I have a big benefit just like being exposed to it at a young age. But nowadays there's so many young kids doing jiu-jitsu, not like when I was a kid. So I think that generation, this next generation, the kids that are in their teenage years right now, the kids that are you're gonna be 20 years old in 5-10 years. It's just gonna be a huge sport by that time. I mean, when I was a kid, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, was a very new thing. Because I think the first one in the U.S. was around when I was like, maybe 12 years old or something like that. So it's gonna be amazing.
It's going to be totally crazy in 5-10 years. You have had a very active year in 2012. I see you placed a lot already. Is it important as an athlete of this sport to stay active?
Yeah, it is important to stay active. Sometimes I come off from a long break and it's I got to get back in that mode of competition. Not just training. I kind of try to keep training all year, but stepping onto the mat at the competition, getting those nerves out, just kind of getting relaxed in the fight scene at the tournament, the day of the fight, during your fight, kind of getting just relaxed. So it is good to stay active, so that it doesn't you don't have to go through that every time. It kind of becomes more regular and a little bit easier every time you do it. I think the beginning of the year, first tournament I did was the Europeans. I got third in that tournament this year, and I was a little bit more nervous, I think, than after my third or fourth tournament this year. So definitely, the more you compete, the easier it comes, and I think because of that, the better you're going to perform.
Absolutely. Do you meditate or visualize or study your opponents prior to a match, like to get mentally strong? Or have you just done it so long now that you just kind of know what you got to do and you just do it?
Well, I don't really study my opponents too much. I have done it a few times, but in the past, what I've probably done more than anything is just not even look at the brackets, don't look at anything. I show up the day of the fight. After my, maybe second fight, I'll look and see how many more fights I have, and then I'm starting to get interested and see, but before that, I just don't want to get the nerves running. Oh, I'm going to fight this guy, and start getting too excited, too worried about his game or what he's going to do. I just kind of go out there. I know that there's a guy in a gi in front of me, and I can grab him and choke him or whatever. There's a body in front of me, and just go.
Now, is that a practice that you've recently done, or is that something you've done all your life, to not know who you're fighting?
Well, I've always kind of done that. Recently I've started to look a little bit more at the guys I'm fighting. I think as a black belt, people have like their styles. It's a little bit, it is important to know kind of what your opponent likes to do. To stay away from that kind of thing and avoid it. So, a certain amount of strategy. You can kind of start to strategize for your opponent. So that can help, being ready for it. But, in the past, I've liked to just be completely focused on myself and my training and my game plan. And I kind of go in with the mentality thinking, doesn't matter what the guy has planned or what he's going to do, I'm going to go in and impose my will, I'm going to go in and do what I'm here to do. Not wait for him to make a move or something, just put him in my game.
Nice. With that being said, this is something old or possibly new because you're trying to now maybe look at the brackets. But what are some things that you've incorporated into your training lately that was not there, say, the last couple of years for you?
Well, I've started this year to do a lot more conditioning, work a little bit more strength training. Have a few guys, a couple trainers here that I'm working with. Just recently, actually, I started working with this Bulgarian bag. It's been making my grips really strong, working kettlebells a little bit more, just doing conditioning training a little bit more, trying to, make sure I feel strong at my weight and, ready for.
Have you noticed it?
Try to.
Yeah, Bulgarian.
Go ahead.
So, have you noticed a difference with the bags by any chance?
Yeah, well, I definitely noticed that it works my grip really, really good. It's really tough on your grip. So I just started using it a short time ago, but I'm already noticing grip strength and upper body strength is really big, really good.
I'm sure. I know I do. I want to hear
Do you use it?
Sorry, the first time you ever competed. Do you remember that feeling you had, and what happened?
Yeah, I remember. The first time when I really started going to compete was as a purple belt was when I really started coming into the competitions, and I remember being really nervous and you feel like you're about to get into a real fight, like a street fight, but you gotta just. I think it's important to relax and think it's just another day on the mat, it's just another training at your academy. It's kind of where you have to put yourself at. I remember going out there and shaking hands, and then I think the guy might have made a couple points on me, and I got a little upset and got back focused again and went at him and ended up winning that tournament. But I remember it was a tournament here in California, but. Yeah, it's a great experience, really. It's something that not everybody gets to experience if you don't compete. If you never put yourself when you're it's complete combat. You're looking at another guy in the face and just go fight. There's not very many other sports where you have that kind of experience.
At what age did you start competing at?
I started competing around 19, 20.
Wow, that's unreal.
Yeah, I wish I had started earlier, but I remember when I was 13, 14, I wanted to start competing, and I was 130 pounds, and there was nobody in that division at that time, and like I said, jiu-jitsu tournaments had just started in the U.S., so it was not very big yet. I remember it was the U.S. Open they have in Santa Cruz every year still, back when I used to live in San Francisco, and they would have those tournaments. But so I really only started really training competitively, really getting myself ready for these big tournaments and ready for it when I was in my early 20s is when I really kind of took off for that.
Nice. Clark Gracie, you have your own school out there, your own affiliations. Other than you know where that is, where they can train with you. But how does it feel you're your own person now, your own man, your own name, your own entity? What's that like being able to run the show?
Yeah, David. Well, it's great. It's been a long road, and I feel like I'm still in the middle of my career, and it's been great, learning and having gone through all these experiences and competing, meeting a lot of people, finally opening my own academy here in Southern California, in La Jolla, San Diego, and it's been like you said, it's hard to start competing and to be where I am right now is. It's actually, I never thought I would actually be here. I used to look at the high-level black belts, when I was a purple belt and think, wow, those guys are amazing. And I can't believe what I see them do and, how smooth and how technical and the level that they're at. But, I think anybody that really, dedicates themselves to a sport can reach that level. It looks like something that you'll never get to, but, and then, in the past 3 years, especially since I got my black belt, I put myself in there, I put myself to test against these these big names, these high level guys, and so I'm like, wow, okay, I can hang with these guys, I can beat these guys, I can hang in there and roll with the best in the world and be at the podium, get to the finals, win a gold medal at a high level black belt tournament, so it's a great feeling. It's really like a dream come true, and I've really surpassed anything I had dreamed of getting to. And I thought maybe I'd just have a jiu-jitsu academy one day, but now I'm doing seminars around the world. I'm competing around the world, and it's great. It's really a good lifestyle, and I think like anything, you work hard at it, and it's gonna pay off. So.
Yeah. Some goals. You're speaking about getting gold medals and stuff like that. What are some goals you set for yourself that you have to absolutely do before you kick the bucket? Like we have this BJJ bucket list we were talking about, me and my co-host here, host Jer. What are some things that you want to do before you, end this life in BJJ? What are some goals you need to finish?
Well, really, I could say, I want to win a certain amount of tournaments, this tournament, that tournament. But, I think jiu-jitsu is more than that. I think jiu-jitsu is about, touching other people's lives, helping, people improve their lives and giving myself a good life and, really reaping all the benefits that jiu-jitsu has for you. And I don't even see like a time that I could actually even stop doing what I'm doing. I can't even imagine like not competing anymore. I don't know what my life's going to be like at that point. I thought about it, but I can't really imagine my life actually, no competitions anymore, and just staying in one place. I don't even know if I'm able to do that. But with that said, I mean, definitely would like to keep working and get that gold at the World's gi tournament that they have every June. I got third place last year. This year I wasn't able to compete because of the injury, but that's one that I would really like to win. But it's like I said, I don't really think that's not the biggest reward from jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle, is being able to stay healthy and treat your body like a machine, and make that machine perform the best it can, and just keep your body in good shape and enjoy and have good relationships and kind of more of a long-term goal than like a short-term thing.
That was well said, though. It's about touching people, reaching out and changing people's lives. So Jared's got a question here for you.
Growing up, being surrounded by other Gracie members, who did you have any, what do you call it? Anyone that you really looked up to?
Yeah, well, I always looked up to my dad, my dad's Clark Gracie. He's a brother of Carlson and Carlinhos and cousin of Hickson. Anyways, other than him, I always looked up to, I had such a big family and a lot of fighters in my family, and those people were, some of them were close to me. So, growing up, I looked at them as like, just invincible, invincible jiu-jitsu fighters, and so it was one of those guys I looked up to. I remember being a young kid and seeing Hoist fighting, Hal fighting, Henzo fighting, Hyan and Hoyler, Hickson, even seeing some of my dad's old footages. My dad was like a generation above those guys, but, so I had a lot of people really to look up to, a lot of older cousins, a lot of uncles and stuff. Just all those guys in my family, they really laid the path for all of us in my generation and everybody else, that now has a jiu-jitsu academy. It seems like everybody now has a jiu-jitsu academy. Everybody's, jiu-jitsu academies are popping up like crazy, especially here in Southern California, around the U.S., so, those guys really, laid the path for us, I think,
I agree. I couldn't agree more with you. You said you looked at them like some of them were invincible. I actually thought, or still think, some of them are invincible.
Yeah.
What's next for you coming up? Any competitions, seminars, etc.? What's up next for you?
Right now, I'm focusing on opening another academy here in San Diego, expanding over here. But other than that, right now I'm training pretty hard right now for a no-gi tournament that's going to be in Tahiti. It's an open weight tournament. It's on the 25th of August. And so I'm going out there for that. And there should be some big names in it, and so it should be fun. And after that, I'm not sure if I'm going to do any of these other regional tournaments or the no-gi Pan Am. It's kind of like no-gi season for the federation is kind of coming up towards the end of the year, but I may jump into the no-gi Worlds too in early November. So kind of getting ready for all that right now, and then take a little break before the next gi season comes early next year.
The hardest match you've ever had. I've seen a lot of your matches. In my head, I have one that I thought was probably one of your hardest, but I want to hear it from you. The hardest match you've ever had.
I don't know. I think it's people can watch a match, and it's kind of hard to say who really, how hard someone really is working. But there's some really exciting matches. But I've had really hard matches from guys that don't have big names in jiu-jitsu. Or some of them are newer black belts, and just guys that have just been coming at me like crazy, and me just getting really tired in the match. But I don't know. It's hard for me to say who's one of the hardest matches.
Maybe not your hardest match, but who brought out the best in you while you were competing then?
The best in me? Well, everybody seems to talk about this one match that I had last year with Andre Galvão.
That's the one I was...
what's that?
I said that's the one I was thinking about.
Yeah. Everybody seems to bring up that one, and last year we fought and we tied, and they ended up giving the fight to him. And some people say it was controversial. Andre wasn't able to pass my guard, and I had a few sweep attempts where could have been maybe an advantage point that that I wasn't awarded, and it ended up being 0-0 at the end. But then. So that was a good match. That actually was a great match for me because, I went into the fight thinking, I had trained with Andre years before, and I knew he was really good, and I have nothing but respect for the guy, and I'm thinking wow, this is going to be an amazing fight for me, learning experience, whatever comes out of it. I can't really lose because if I lose the fight, I'm going to learn from it. If I win the fight, it's great, and. I think, that match, Andre Galvão has a big name in jiu-jitsu, and for me to go out there and fight with him and for me to show myself that I can hang with him, that I can be at the same level as him, or maybe even, beat him, come close to beating him, or even where the public has a, controversial opinion over who won that fight, and unfortunately the ref, for me this time, went for Andre Galvão.
Yeah, the fans let the ref know what the hell they thought that day. I could hear the boos, and it was incredible. After I saw that fight with you, I honestly was saying, your division's in trouble, man. You've been constantly improving, whereas a lot of people, they kind of peak out, I find. With you, I found for a while, I've never seen, you keep evolving, I find. That's what I want to say to you. I really enjoy watching all your matches. It's a joy to watch you, just so you know.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it, man. I try to stay active and make the fight exciting, and always look for the finish. There's a lot of good guys out there, and it's hard to perform sometimes against these black belts, and they have like great strategy, great games. They all train really well, really hard, and so for me, just to be out there competing with the guys is like an honor, just to step on the mat and be doing what my family has been doing for the past almost 100 years now, and continue that tradition. And fighting Andre Galfon was no different. It was an honor to do that, and he's a big name in jiu-jitsu, and for me to feel that I proved to myself that day, like, wow, I can't believe. I think like halfway through the fight, I realized I think I got this guy figured out. Actually, I think I got him under control here, and it was a good experience for me.
I can't wait to see you two square up once again. Clark, before we go, any things you want to plug real quick? How people can get a hold of you again, or websites, whatnot?
Yeah, I'm in Southern California, in San Diego, and my website is clarkgracie.com. Anybody's always welcome to come in and train. My doors are open, and Facebook, Clark Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Facebook too, and I'm open doors. So
nice. We're gonna have to wrap this up. We've been on air for an hour and 50 minutes now, the most we've ever been on. I want to say personally, thank you very much for taking some time out and talking about jiu-jitsu with us. It was an honor.
For both of us.
Thanks, David. I really appreciate you giving me the chance to come on your show.
Of course, and good luck with the rest of the year. Trust me, we'll be rooting for you, and hopefully we'll keep in touch, and maybe one day we'll be able to get out to San Diego and see you.
Yeah, I hope so. You guys are more than welcome. I hope to see you guys out here one day.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, so basically, we just did the damn thing. Broke records here tonight, talking. Man, it's so cool when you talk to someone so damn good. It's stupid. That being said, guys, before we leave, remember, visit FightFansRadio.com, BJJAddictTV.com, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Instagram, website. Type in our names or our websites or our company names, and you'll find it all.
And we also now have a MySpace account.
That is another lie, Jared. You can't stop.
Don't go to MySpace.
Before we leave, actually, that's what I want to ask you, man. Since you are quite the writer, do you think maybe you want to blog ever?
Blog, yeah. For what exactly?
BJJ Addict, man. I got a spot on the website for blogging, just haven't done any yet. No one's ever touched it.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe?
Yeah,
yes?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, maybe like a once a month, like what's been going on in Jared's world? Just blog style? What you've been feeling?
Yeah.
All right, good, guys. So BJJAddictTV.com, you go see Jared's blog soon. I love it.
It's called Jared's blog.
Oh, I love it. How creative. So next week, goals for next week, obviously get some training in, have another kick-ass show coming up. We're not going to tell you the guest yet. And BJJ bad jokes. I want to hear some.
Yeah.
And people's BJJ bucket list. You Fs, you never even got in on that yet. So hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what's going on. I want to hear people's goals in life before they kick the bucket.
And we'll tweet like crazy, so you better answer us.
That's it. We're going to just blast Twitter. All right, guys. Remember, listen to everything we say. I'm actually doing it right now with my hands. I hope everyone else is. Hang tight. Dudes! Peace out, guys.